opportunity to come along and present to you tonight. There's nothing more important than talking about justice, and particularly social justice. We have a justice system in Victoria at the moment that is completely unbalanced. The National and Liberal government's approach to law and order has been a spectacular failure. A tough-on-crime approach that has seen in less than 4 years crime increased by nearly 20% and drug crimes up by nearly 2/3. Family violence reporting escalating and very few resources targeted to address the increase. Keeping citizens safe from harm and from violence is one of the highest priorities of any government. And yet Victoria Police has taken a budget hit of over $400 million. A government driven by law and order politics has seen the imprisonment rate skyrocket, and this is costing taxpayers millions of dollars. There are over 6,000 inmates in Victoria's prison system. With budget cuts to the Justice Department of over $450 million, many of these prisoners do not have access to the drug and alcohol treatments, counselling services and other supports that are supposed to rehabilitate them. There is also a growing problem with overcrowding in most prisons. So our justice system is full. Oh, what does that mean? And the ancillary services are not there to provide the level of care that's required. A scathing Auditor General's report this year found that prison overcrowding is wasting police time and resources and making our communities unsafe. Prisoners being housed in prison cells for long periods of time and being babysat by police. Prisons have been forced to bring in shipping containers to house our prisoners. It's Labor's view that a holistic approach is needed to redress the imbalance in the justice system. Early intervention, prevention, is the best defence against the cycle of crime and violence. Dealing with the causes of crime, opportunities for young people through education, sport, trades, training, and diverting people away from the justice system whenever it is appropriate. In the past 4 years, Labor has opposed a range of government policies that have taken Victoria backwards, including winding back of the Equal Opportunity Act, and of course the Move On laws, which we think are both discriminatory and unlawful. We have already announced that we will put an end to babysitting prisoners in prison cells by police and put officers back on the front line. A $148.6 million plan that will transition the supervision of prisoners in police cells to custody officers. We will also restore Victoria's community legal centres to help families in need. A $2 million community legal centre assistance fund will support vital programs and services that have been weakened by both Dennis Napthline's cuts to legal aid and Tony Abbott's federal cuts to individual CLCs. The Abbott government cuts included family violence coordinators, family violence lawyers, and online services for rural, regional and remote youth. Hard to believe at a time when family violence has become a national emergency. Labor has also announced that if we win government, we'll establish Australia's first Royal Commission into family violence. A Royal Commission can find answers for its prevention and repair what is a completely broken system. We want to start this in early 2015 and we expect it to be completed by the end of that year. It will investigate criminal law, corrections, courts, community services, alcohol and drug services, health services, refuges and housing and the school curriculum and the tools available to police. In fact, nothing will be off limits. We also want to lay down the first steps to tackle the ice epidemic, which we know is very significant in Bendigo in particular. And we've announced an ice intervention plan, which will include an ice action task force, and that will be established in our first 100 days of a Labor government should we be successful. It will also include penalties for trafficking ice to school children, publishing or possessing instructions to manufacture ice, because we know at the moment the crime rates, drug use and unemployment levels are rising, and they are rising in tandem. We want to see a whole of government approach and a plan to address the imbalance in our justice system. Thank you.